Alright, so today we're going to look at finding the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. So here we have two matrices here. These are 2 by 2 matrices. Now how do we get to find the inverse of this particular matrices? So let us look at the solutions. So first, for you to find the inverse of the 2 by 2 matrix, I've got about 3 steps that we need to follow. So three steps that we need to follow. So step number 1, you need to find the determinant of that particular matrix. Determinant of that particular matrix. Step number 2, you need to find what you call
reciprocal.
The reciprocal, of that particular determinant. So in other words, we are going to reciprocate. We're going to reciprocate the determinant. And the third one, we're going to multiply the reciprocal, the determinant by the adjoint matrix. Very important. Then the inverse of the matrix will have been found. Let's get started. So for example, we'll pick the first matrix Q here. We want to find the inverse of matrix Q. What are we supposed to do? Well, we need to find the determinant of that particular matrix. So we're going to have the determinant of matrix Q. We know it will be the major diagonal. We have 4 and 3, so we multiply 3 times 4 and subtract the product of the elements in the minor diagonal. And of course, this will be 3 by 4, that's a 12. Negative 2 times negative 5, that's positive 10. And here we're going to have a 2. Therefore, the determinant of matrix Q is 2. Once we're done, we'll have attempted step number 1. Let's move on to step number 2. Step number 2, we're going to reciprocate this 2. To reciprocate is to find the reciprocal of 2. What is the reciprocal of 2, please? Excellent. That would be simply the opposite of 2, and that's of course going to be 1 over 2. Very good. Third and the last, we're going to multiply this particular reciprocal times the adjoint matrix. Now, what is an adjoint matrix? Quite interesting, right? Observe. So the adjoint matrix, for example, of this particular matrix Q is whereby we swap the elements in the major diagonal. They'll swap. Take note. This simply means that while there's a 3, we're going to have a 4, and while there's a 4, we're going to have a 3. Then each element in the minor diagonal will receive a negative operation. Take note. Each element in the minor diagonal will receive a negative operation. In other words, each element in the minor diagonal is going to be multiplied by a minus operation. So in the case of this particular matrix, we're going to have while there's a 3, we're going to have a 4. And while there is a 4, we're going to have a 3. That is swapping in the major diagonal. Then the elements in the minor diagonal, each will receive a minus operation. So, if this negative 2 receives a negative, or rather, if this negative 2 multiplies by negative operation, it will be minus minus, and that will be a positive. The same is true of this one. If you multiply negative times negative, that will be positive 5. Therefore, this is the inverse of this particular matrix. Now, how do you write it, of course? Before I underline, you simply say, therefore, the inverse, you say q to the power minus 1 is equal to 1/2 4, 2, 5, 3, and therefore this is the answer.